You just in a different season. That season was meant to get me where I am now. But when you building, you have to understand it's a building of another testimony, character, integrity, different things when it comes to your personality and your principles and morals about. It's just certain things you learn on the process of what help catapult you through that particular season. I played back being molested. I played back first time I hit somebody. I played back making the girl drink bleach. I played back having my child, 13, 14 years old. I played back going to jail. I played back going to juvenile. I played back the 10 years of prison. All the stuff that happened in prison. I played back being in the cell with my daddy, being in the cell with my brother, being at the same penitentiary with my uncle who got 75 years. I played back the times that I was on the run. I played back selling dope. I played back so much, right? This is what I realized at times. At times when you reflect and you done came up out of so much, it's only necessary and right for the enemy at times to try to put a mirror in your face or try to make you feel like that's who you gonna always be. Or that's what you could never get away from. When you feel like that's something I ain't gonna never get away from, it grieves your spirit because only you know and only you can see really who you've become. Not saying that we want validation or we need people's approval, but redemption is a real thing. Because even though I've been redeemed by the King, I also want it acknowledged. I also do at times want and may need the recognition of everybody else can see it. But when you reflect and the enemy showing you that and you won't respond to it the right way, because it's all about how you respond. Because you can see your past and then in your mind, you could be thinking, man, it just keep trying to chase me down. It seemed like the further I try to get away from it, it just seemed like it just constantly keep creeping up on me. How is it that I ran away this far and this fast and still I turn around and I can see Jason and he been walking the whole time? How is it that I moved from Tennessee to Texas, 10 hours away, an hour and a half flight, and for some reason it seemed like things just keep on, because sometimes you got to understand, it's okay to reflect when you motivating yourself. Because when I look back and reflect last night, my view was different. Not the lens that I can actually see, because my views is different too. I'm looking out the window right now. I can see the Cowboys Stadium. That's a different view for me. Because at some point, guess what? I was sitting in the cell. When I looked out the fence, when I looked out the window, I seen 2 barbed wire fences and just a whole bunch of field. When I looked out my other window, I seen a bunch of people wearing blue in the officer. And look, so my view is actually different physically, but my view is way more different on the spiritual level. Because I can see how far I've really come. I don't know if you recognize that. Too many of us don't celebrate your growth. The enemy don't even want to give you time to see your growth. Because even if you're trying to see the growth, he got you chasing and continue to trying to run away from what it is that you already done escaped. You need to realize you done already escaped what was once your reality. At some point, what I didn't realize in being in Texas in 5 years, probably in the last year, I done already escaped what was once my reality. I'm still grinding and pushing and trying to get the bag in a different way because I ain't took time to breathe and look around and see. Man, your family ain't got nothing to do with your bloodline at this point when you connected to the King like I am. I can only speak for me. I can't speak for you. Because it's some people who want a connection with family you will never have. That's one of the things I had to correct myself on last night. I said, man, my daddy in prison, two life sentences. I don't know how much longer he gonna have to do. My mama right now, we ain't talked in 2-3 weeks on the strength of that me and my sister told her no about a particular thing. But this is what I've come to realize. A lot of time I'm so focused on what I want to be, what was never and will never be, it continues to break my heart. Instead of actually looking and realizing what the King told them when they came and knocked on the door, when they said, he said, your mama and your brother at the door. He said, who is my mama and my brother? Which is a very strong question, because what he was saying was, If they ain't cut like the king, then they ain't my mama and my brother. Because you have to understand, you got some family members and some people that you consider friends that don't love you the way the Bible has commanded them to love. And when you pouring out that kind of love and you moving in that way, it's only going to continue to break your heart. It's only going to continue to make you overextend yourself. And then not only that, it's going to make you question yourself. Because so many of us going to continue to add, well, what's wrong with me? How is it that I'm trying to be the best I can be and you see it, and for some reason you still want to continue to try to hurt me? So at that point, what you have to do is you have to take a look around and see who he done placed around you. Who is my mama and my brother? He said, whoever do the will of my father. He said, you will know them by their love for one another. If them folks ain't loving you the way you know you supposed to be loved, and if them folks ain't caring about you and treating you the way that you supposed to be treated, if them folks ain't edifying you, encouraging you, and pouring into you, then what you need to realize, you overlooking somebody who doing it. Because when I look back and I say, at times I think I get sad to an extent. What's up, Makai? I get sad to an extent because when I look at my life, I say, man, I can't share this with none of my homeboys. I can't share this with none of the people that I went to school with. But then I look back and guess what? The majority of them is still in the same predicament. They still in the same mindset. And parts of me, it's called survivor's remorse. You want to go back and grab and carry people that's only going to get here and drain what it is that you grind for. And then I have to take a look around again and say, but he done replaced your friends. You got people that you can, like you literally have it. So last night when I'm going through my mind, right? And I'm looking at all these things and I can sometimes it's almost like you can hear the chatter and the chants of the enemy, because certain things start going through your mind, like you ain't adequate, like you ain't competent enough, like you ain't did enough, like you ain't made it. I said, well, hold on real quick. Let me pump the brakes on you real quick, because I still challenge myself. I still challenge my mental, because it's still more that I have to do, that I'm called to do, and I'm gonna do. Man, see that sometimes you got to speak life into yourself, even when you're tired. Because sometimes you just get to a point and you like, man, my foot been on the gas, and you feel like you ain't got a break, but the break ain't in the finances all the time. The break ain't in you waiting to break a bunch of money. You don't know how many people done looked at your light and you done broke chains. You don't know how many souls you done set free. And sometimes I know that's not enough, but you need to understand your life is no longer your own. Make sure you doing what you need to do with your finances the way you need to do them. The money gonna always be there. The giver don't never run out. So keep on doing what you're doing. So when I pump the brakes and I take a look, I said, man, now hold on now. We did a series. We just dropped the movie. We shooting part 2 of the series. We got the matter of fact, look. I said I'm almost 6 years in. I said we still shipping books. People still asking about merch. The platforms are still growing. I'm still meeting and connecting with people that's on different levels. I'm still getting calls. I'm turning down interviews. I'm still getting emails of people asking me to do interviews. I just don't like doing interviews. I'm still growing and coming up with more ideas. Why is it that? Listen to me real quick. Double tap the screen. If you ain't following me, hit the follow button. Double tap me. If you ain't hit the follow button, hit the follow button. Why is it that we have, I want to use the word propensity. Why is it that we had a propensity to only focus on the brokenness at times, the unhealed areas at times? Why we only focus, why we don't pay attention to the growth as much as we should? It's no different than when you can make a video and when you look at the comment section, for some reason, the first thing your mind goes to look for is the negativity. You notice the negative comment before you see anything. You realize that you hear the chatter before you hear any kind of cheering. Why is it that your ear clings on to the chatter before it hear a cheer? That's insane to me. So last night I had to switch from a chatter to a cheer to myself. You ain't finna sit here and beat up on yourself because you need to pay close attention to what it is that you have. You need to pay close attention to where it is you're going, because it ain't no way any believer, listen to me, double tap the screen, and if you ain't following me, hit the follow button. It ain't no way as a child of the King you gonna sit and not realize and be grateful. I'm talking about really grateful. Right. And be grateful for how much has been accomplished, how many goals you have. Matter of fact, I don't even want to say goals you done accomplished. Even in the try, because even in trying, because some people don't even have the strength to keep going. If you got up and tried it again and you ain't had the energy, you ain't had a headspace, you ain't even really had a heart to it, you gotta keep, that you kept going. Point blank period. I done 10. And in the 10, and I have to say that at times to remind myself, in the 10, I've been home almost 10. But being home almost 10 and really looking through the journey of the 10 years, how much has been accomplished and how much has been done, how many things I have tried, whether I didn't succeed at it or not, but I gave it a shot. Look here. That past probably feel like it keep chasing you. I'm going to tell you another thing. Appreciate it. I'm going to tell y'all another thing that just seems so crazy to me. The scripture text say, when it comes to, it say, don't be envious or jealous of what they have nor of what they do. At times when I look at people who don't even care to have a genuine relationship with the Most High, the only thing, they want to be able to give credit to the Most High for tangible things, for material things. They don't care nothing about furthering the kingdom. They don't care nothing about the principles of the kingdom. Only thing they fixated on is the tangible and the material things, and that's where they give credit to the Most High. You see people with jewelry on, nice cars, foreign cars, homes, and they always say, I just want to thank God, because without God. But then when you take a closer look at their life, there's really no principles when it comes to the King. It ain't no witnessing going on. It ain't no sacrificing going on. And if it's a sacrifice, it's a worldly one. You left one business deal to go to the other business deal. It had nothing to do with the spiritual parts of the kingdom. It has nothing to do with loving on people the way the Bible done calls you to love on people. So when I look at those things, sometimes I do get in, I feel something in my heart. When I watch scammers travel the world and see all types of things, I feel some type of way in my heart, because I be like, man, I could, we could do this and we could do that. You know what I'm saying? And just, Jody, that's what it all brought. But Jody, peep this, Jody, you said no fruit. But to somebody who has a natural mind, they see the material thing as the fruit. And that grieves me at times, because you, as a believer, when you are sacrificed, when you realize that your life is no longer your own, what you know to be as fruit in this world right here is just no good. That ain't fruit right there. That ain't what people want to eat on. They want them chains. They want them clothes. They want their car. They want them trips. They want that house. They want listen to me. They want the BBLs. They want the bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. It's people out here who don't even realize you so fixated on the image in your mind. You'll never be willing to work through what real love costs in a relationship. You so fixed on the aesthetic look, you will never understand what it'll look like to love somebody for who they are and where they at in life. You will never understand what it takes to really be a partner and push somebody through, because you so fixated on you want a waist to look this way, you want a face to look that way, you want a teeth to look this way, you want the hair to always look this way. You don't realize in social media that these people don't look like this every day, all day. See, that's why I ain't tricked my mind into it yet. I never go get no veneers. Now I might go get my hair back. I'm probably about to go to Turkey, but that ain't got nothing to do with me feeling like I don't love myself, because I'm finna go to Turkey, just to let you know. But look, it's just so many things people don't realize what they overlook. We don't see the value in each other no more. We don't see the value in them. If you ain't dressed a certain way from head to toe, you ain't got time to see the value in nobody. You ain't got time to hear the value in somebody's conversation. You don't got time to hear the value in when somebody trying to encourage you nowadays. If it ain't about no money, people are depressed chasing money. You got anxiety chasing money. You stressed out chasing money. You cutting people off chasing money. You burning bridges chasing money. You missing real opportunity to become a better person chasing money. You will get on the internet and become a completely different person on the strength of chasing money. You don't even care no more on the strength of chasing money. You don't convince yourself that if it ain't money, then it don't make sense. You don't even care to look in the mirror and realize you don't even notice who you are no more on the strength of chasing money. But then if you give them the scripture and you say, well, the scripture do say that the root of evil, the love of money is the root of all evil. You don't even realize that a part of you has drifted away on the strength of you wanting the bag. You ain't got no principles no more, but you don't care. You got money in your pocket. You ain't got no morals no more. Guess what? You don't care. I got a bag in my pocket. You don't care nothing about your character. You know what? You got a little money in your pocket, and your defense is you broke. Do what? Your defense is you broke. No morals, no principles, no character, no integrity. Hey, quit playing with me out here. Like, that's crazy. And they don't care. They don't care. Man, you gotta remind yourself, man, you gotta remind. I seen an interview, I'm gonna say this, y'all double tap the screen if you ain't follow me. I seen an interview, a piece of an interview with Ray Lewis yesterday. He talking about Shannon Sharp. And in the interview, he said he had never seen Shannon Sharp drink. He said when he started doing the podcast, he started drinking. He said not only when he did the podcast, he said he noticed he started doing a lot of gossiping. He said he know this dude. He said that ain't what he was into. And so then he started explaining the fruit. He started talking about who he poured out to. Because he said there's a difference between influence and popularity. There is a complete difference between influence and popularity. And people who chasing popularity, a lot of times they don't have no character. Because they're going to say and do whatever they got to do in order to gain the people and in order to get the money. And so when I'm listening, I go through the comment section with Ray Lewis interview, and I seen a lot of people first trying to bring up his past. They said, who are you to have anything to say? You unalive somebody. I said, see, that be one of people's problem who don't like accountability. People don't realize when you overcome and you become a different person, I don't care nothing about you trying to bring up my past when it comes to the truth. The truth will be the truth regardless of what I did. Matter of fact, the truth is the truth regardless of if that person even changed or not. If somebody tell you a truth in the middle of being homeless, don't dismiss what they said on the strength of, man, I ain't listening to no homeless person. Just because if I take you right now to visit a prison, and it's an inmate in there who give you some real game, don't dismiss that on the strength of, man, you locked up. I ain't listening to you. What sense does that make when people hear 1 + 1 and they add it up and realize it's 2? You say, but you ain't a math teacher. You a science teacher. I ain't listening to you. Bro, they sit there and told you the truth.